The Clarno Basin is a vast, hilly desert. Plant life is sparse, and animals must be well adapted to extreme temperatures and little water. Hidden beneath layers of clay, sediments, and basalt, a different story is lurking inside the fossils. Fossils are formed in several ways. For example, permineralization, casting or molding, and the most common method in this area, which results in leaf imprints, carbonization.
They get compressed into lenses of sandstone, or what we call lacustrine deposition, or lake bed deposition, and that's what you see behind the high school, we'll say, in the town of Fossil. The town of Fossil was an old lake bed. Deciduous trees falling into a lake bed, ash falling on leaves, leaves turning in, or being carbonized, and that leaves the imprint.
The other common type of fossilization is permineralization.
That's when the porous hard parts are preserved and other minerals come in, such as petrified wood. There's recrystallization, where tree sap forming around an insect and crystallizing it and forming a fossil. And there's total replacement, where the fossil is totally replaced.
Karen Mashoff is the fossil bed interpreter at the Wheeler Fossil Bed in Fossil, Oregon, the only public fossil bed in the United States.
The whole fossilization process is one of having some idea that this was an old lake area. And why is that? Because of the certain kinds of sediment that we find all around the area.
This area has spectacular fossil beds because the rocks contain sediment from ancient mud flows.
The mud was actually perfect because it was coming off the local volcanoes at such a rapid rate. It would trap the animals quickly, it was a cool event, and it would bury them, and it would start that whole fossilization process.
The climate in this area has changed dramatically throughout the last 50 million years. Older layers of rock contain fossil evidence that the Clarno Basin was once a tropical rainforest.
We know that the climate was much wetter. We know that there were no Cascade ranges, hence we had over 100 inches of rain, and we know that by looking at the Clarno nut beds, and came up with 174 different species of nuts and seeds and plants, such as banana, Gingko, Laurel, chamomile, everything that lives in a very Asian tropical type of environment.
There is also evidence in the fossils of the animals that were alive.
There is a bone bed on the Clarno unit known as the mammal quarry. We know that we've already taken 2,000 specimens out of it. We have crocodiles from up there. We have a type of aquatic hippo.
Most of the climate change is due to the emergence of the Cascade mountain range.
The rain shadow effect after the Cascades, which are the ancient Cascades, were not where the Cascades are now. So subduction, Cascades rising, blocking off the moisture. Gradually they got higher and higher, moisture getting less and less coming from the west to the east. And we saw in that time period tropical to semi-arid.
It is difficult to believe that this arid desert was once a tropical rainforest. Researchers have spent years unearthing secrets of the Clarno Basin's past, but many are still waiting to be unlocked.
So let me see if I can't find us a fossil. See, we have the veins that are running from the mid-vein and running up this way, and it's hard to say whether this might be a very large alder. We may even have part of a maple. People have been coming to this hillside for 50 years, but they've never had anybody to kind of assist them to find the fossils. And now we're needing to dig into the layers to find those fossils, and it's even more important to do that and also to preserve what we have.
Abundance, diversity, this long time period sequence and datability is just fascinating to paleontologists, and how we can relate and how our part, this little old John Day fossil beds, fits into this huge, magnificent puzzle.